Good evening. Welcome to the Canyon Country Advisory Committee. For tonight's agenda, we've already had the flag salute. We'll go through announcements. Then Glenn Adamick is going to come up and talk to us about Vista Canyon Ranch. After that, we're going to talk about the Whitaker Bermite area and the cleanup going there. Rick Drew will show us a tour and have some updates on what the Citizens Advisory Group is doing. Then, as I'm sure you've heard, deep well injection has hit the highlights of the city, and we'll talk about deep well injection and what it is and why it's being so stringently fought, and you can make up your own mind after that. Then we'll do an update on the medians. Remember, we were taking videos of medians that needed repair and tell you what happened there. Then our yearly event is the 2015 officer nominations. We go through this. We do this every year to make sure that we have officers that represent the group. Then our version of public participation, which is the first 5 people for 1 minute that want to present something to the organization. A preview of our next meeting, and we'll adjourn promptly at 9 o'clock. Normally, we go through and discuss hometown heroes, and I really do believe that the residents west of the 5 freeway were our heroes for this month. Mainly because, as you'll hear more about later, not only were they concerned about their own neighborhood, not only were they concerned that their neighborhood was being harmed, but they wanted to make sure that it wasn't just moved into someone else's neighborhood. So being good neighbors, they're taking the position that deep well injection is not acceptable anywhere in the Santa Clarita Valley. We've already done the flag salute. So for announcements, we're ready to open the spring session for CERT training. Starts on April the 9th through May 21st. $30 a person, and that includes everything that you need. So if you're interested, get in touch with Donna Nuzzi at the city, and you can sign up with her. News from Ahtna. You know, every Wednesday before our meeting in the morning is the Ahtna meeting. So I attend, and a lot of come back with some really good information. So I just wanted to preface it as news from the Old Town Newhall Association. And in this case, Jason Crawford from the city of Santa Clarita was there to talk about those 2 square blocks of property across the street from the Newhall Library. And as you might recall, they demoed all of the existing, most of the existing auto business buildings, and now they're demoing the remainder. So they're out there looking for developers. They've put out requests, and they're looking for a project that would take about over 3 years. And they anticipate, because they've already been negotiating with developers, that by the end of the week they're going to have some information, and then there'll be a public process which will follow. But they're looking for, on those 2 square blocks, public parking structure, a movie theater, rental and restaurants of 8,000 to 15,000 square feet, and then to have residential over retail in those businesses. So we'll see how successful they are, and we'll get more about that later. We'll learn more about that later. Also in Ahtna was Lieutenant Brian Waney was there, and he is our new enforcement zone leader. He's not the enforcement leader for this zone, but he, in fact, has all of the zones reporting to him. He told me that the Canyon Country River Sweep would start next week. So next week, the Sheriff's Department and the city will be going through the river area looking for people that have taken up residences there illegally and moving them on, and so we'll see how well that goes. On April the 6th, the city is hosting an art and events open forum. So if you're interested in what kind of art issues are going to be taking place, or an input to the arts master plan, and what events might be scheduled by the city, you can be there at the activity center at 6:30 p.m., or you can also go on their website, santaclaritaarts.com, and use their survey to provide that information. May 7th, I was told at the Art Slam, which is going to have some special guests going to have some internationally renowned artists. They're going to be there. And so if you're interested in that, why show up that Thursday at Art Slam on downtown Newhall. And then finally on June 28th is the Main Street Car Show that Otten puts on every year. Cowboy Festival, we've talked about it for the last 2 months, is still going to appear April 15th to 19th. And so we've talked about it a lot, but if you're interested in there, tickets are on sale now. Lastly, I just want you to realize that the Golden Valley Highway 14 Bridge Widening Project groundbreaking was today at 2 o'clock. I unfortunately couldn't be there, but this does mark the start of that project. And we've been waiting for that project for 4 or 5 years, so it's really good to see it start. And hopefully that's going to alleviate a lot of the traffic problems that are on that intersection across that bridge, and modernize the park and rides that are there as well. For statistics, last week we had about, well, we fell down a little bit. We had about 30 people here, and we'll continue to track and see what we got. But the video statistics, again, were interesting. Here you go. You know, we get another 301. Everybody remember what 301 is? It's a magic number. It's a magic number that YouTube uses to say, we're not sure who's watching this, whether it's a real person or a computer. And so you hit 301 and it stops. And then what they tell you when you look it up, you say, you know what, we're going to come back and we're going to analyze it, and then we're going to tell you what the results are. Well, you can see here that we've hit 301, maybe 1, 2, 3 other times, and I've never got any analysis from them, so I don't expect any this time. But I do know this, as try as we can to come up with good topics, you know, 301 always happened to be about the manufactured home ordinance. So I don't know what it is about that, but that's the one that just seems to trip everybody's trigger. Do we have any public participants? Doug, come on, Doug.
Good evening, Douglas Frazier. I'm here to talk about 2 little issues or 2 little announcements. I went down and signed up as a producer for Santa Clarita Television, and we're going to start producing a half-hour program. It's going to be on Saturday. Hopefully they give us a time slot of 12:30. It's going to be a half-hour program. So turn to 99 on AT&T or Channel 20 on Time Warner. We're going to put together a half-hour program of presentations from the past here for the first 3 or 4 weeks, and then we'll start maybe doing interviews or try to make a format. But I've been told Saturday at 12:30, so I'll keep you informed. Probably won't start for a month or 2. So that's an announcement. This issue that we're all having with the city as far as chlorides, the digital billboards, the mobile home park residents. Now there's another issue on Deep Well. That's number 4, and number 5 I left blank for y'all can fill them in. But Tuesday, April 14th, which is 4 weeks from now, mobile home park residents are planning to petition and picket the sidewalks at City Council at 5 o'clock. Anybody wants to bring down a sign that says deep well injection is wrong, or anything that you want to argue about, stop the digital billboards or whatever, hopefully we'll get the media down there and have enough people to. I have some papers here with my contact information. If anybody wants it, it's the same thing you're reading on the screen there. Any questions? The Canyon Country Advisory Committee meeting is Wednesday, the 15th of next month. So I had to make this announcement because this is Tuesday, the 14th, prior to that. So I don't have enough information on it. This was quickly put together, but if you contact me or hopefully some people will get together and we can organize this a little better between now and then too. Thank you.
There's also a flyers at the back of the room for Chair Gilmore was here and said that they were going to do an April the 8th community room discussion about global warming. So if you're interested in that, the flyers are in the back of the room. Yes.
Can I just make a quick statement? I did contact NBC and tell them about.
Go ahead.
I contacted NBC and I kind of told them about what was going on with the seniors and how they're really, the people on fixed incomes, and how they're really trying to kick them to the curb. And they're supposed to get back to me because the reporter, the iReporter that does it, is going to be out of town. But the problem is there seems to be a major problem in this city with what to do with seniors, what to do with people on fixed incomes. Last night we went to dinner around this area out at Coco's, and many seniors on fixed incomes feel that the city council just cares about the rich people with money and the ones who are going to help them. And people don't realize how much your voice counts and how you have to go to these city council meetings. And they'll make faces at you, they'll call you, and they'll say, you shouldn't say this to me and you shouldn't say that. But they withdrew the mobile home ordinance because they were threatened by the landlords because they have lawyers. And we didn't have lawyers to counter. But this whole time is the time that they should be taking meetings with us, and they're not. They aren't doing anything for us. They're not doing anything for the seniors on fixed incomes. They are tapped in to HUD. They have the resources. What they have is no vision. And there's nobody at city council or the city, their standard answer is, he's in a meeting. I mean, come on, we all heard that in, Business 101. He's in a meeting. He's been in a meeting for months now. And I said, how do I get to be in the meeting? But nobody will return a call except Dante Acosta, because he said I called him a liar, which I didn't, but he is a liar because he said he was an actor, and there's still not one credit on IMDb. So, I mean, if he can't get one producer, and for $26, he can go on IMDb Pro and add his own credits. So, I mean, that is a joke. And all of them, Lorene West, she won't even talk. Bob Keller won't talk. And the bottom line is they are both landowners and landlords. They shouldn't even be voting. People, you've got to come to these meetings. You've got to have your voice heard, even if it's just to annoy them. You have to have your voice heard because they will not listen. And there are plenty of people that just go, oh, well, it's okay. The only reason they listen to Stevenson Ranch in Westwich is because they have money that they want for their campaigns. That's it. But people, you have the power, you have the vote. And if you come in numbers and bring your friends in numbers, somebody is going to have to listen because they want the photo ops. They want to be there. They want to be in the pictures, but they don't want to do anything to help the seniors. Their contribution to seniors was $100 a plate dinner that they could write off. And I'm not sure it was their money.
Well, that's yes. Did you have something to say, Judy? All the way up. No, all the way up. Mute's halfway up. Turn it on for her. Here.
Hello.
Here.
Oh, now we've got it. Okay. My comment is, we talk about the 500 West Side residents that were there. Look at our empty seats we have here and how many email messages you sent out. Why can't we light a fire under the people on the east side? We all learned a heck of a lot of stuff tonight that hopefully we'll all share with people, but it was if the room was full and we'd have more people who got it firsthand. Well,
that's probably one of the things that that I really feel bad about a lot is that if you remember, every time we've had a big issue, we get big attendance. And every time the issue gets smaller, most of the people stop coming. We have a few people that have reserved seats, but for the most part, it deals with what the issue is. So I agree with you. Now, as far as the situation of the West Ranch folks and going to council and them listening because they have money, well, I think that's probably true. They knew that the West Ranch folks had lawyered up. But I remember when the city council was planning to put a material recycling center up at Golden Valley and Sierra Highway, and we packed a room with over 100, probably 120 seniors for 3 meetings in a row until they finally gave in and acquiesced. So yeah, if it's a big critical issue and when it's something that we really need, that we can rally our community, we really need to do it. And I'm hoping that this deep well injection thing helps rally the community. But what to do with our seniors, I think we should treat them very nicely, because we're all going to get. Hopefully, we'll all be really senior at some point in time. I agree. The part of the council's job is to take care of our community, and it's to take care of everybody in our community. And I also agree. I was listening to you, and it's almost as if I realized that we're all equal opportunity people here with the city. They don't talk to us either. They're always in a meeting when we call them as well. That's their method of screening their calls. So yeah, I agree. It's really a problem, and we need to find a way to deal with it. Yes.
Yeah, I just have a question. Well, actually, it's a comment. It's like the council, they'll pay attention to Saugus and Valencia, but Canyon Country, we're just like the stepchild. We're like an afterthought. They put everything back here. If they don't want it, they throw it back in our end of the woods.
Well, we need some real representation here in Canyon Country. That's definite, and that's for sure. When the Murph issue was taking place that I was telling you about, it was right here in Canyon Country, and they saw enough people here to where they felt threatened simply for votes because they were seniors, mostly out of Friendly Valley, and Friendly Valley residents vote, and so they acquiesced.
To follow up with that, aren't they trying to do so it'd be district voting?
Right now, we're in an unknown state. The city of Santa Clarita has been sued for the Voter Rights Act. They initially came up with a settlement with the lawyers that they would move the election they came up with their alternate suggestion to move the election to November during the time of a big general election so they would have a larger turnout, and to use cumulative voting, which means that if 2 people were being elected, you could put both of your votes to the same person. And the attorneys for the plaintiffs agreed, along with the settlement that they were going to get. And then the city turned around and took them to court and contested the agreement, which is a little strange. And now, as far as I know, it's still up in the air. So if I go to the city and I say, because I want to, file all of my right forms at the right time, and I go to the city and I say, when's the election going to be? And they say, we don't know, hasn't been settled. What's the voting method going to be? We don't know, hasn't been settled. So I understand that they will be meeting with the attorneys for the Voter Rights Act again in early April, and we may end up being back in court from a city standpoint. They may be pushing for districts. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. I don't know.
Where are they all?
So we're really over time here. So let me move on just really quickly, and we can talk afterwards. At our next meeting, we're going to have 2 development projects hopefully here. The one project is
Tick Canyon, top of Shadow Pines.
Top of Shadow Pine.
400 homes.
The other one is I'm going to meet with the developer tomorrow to talk to him about coming to the April meeting. He called me to talk about it. And he's the developer that has the project at Sand Canyon and Soledad, the one where the mobile home park is. And so he should be here as well. Also, like I said, that I met the new lieutenant. He's down from Palmdale, but he lives in this area. And I talked to him at this morning, and I asked him, I said, well, we don't really, it's not like some of the other organizations where we'd like a sheriff here every meeting, but since there's been some changes in our zone leaders, could you have them come at the next meeting and introduce themselves? And so they'll be here. Also, I'm sure there'll be a sanitation district update and whatever else we can and find out at that time. So, folks, even though this is probably the longest Canyon Country Advisory Committee meeting we've ever had, I would like to thank you for choosing to visit the Canyon Country Advisory Committee, and hopefully you'll be back again next month. Thank you very much.